Welcome. I
Thank
am
you.
Dr. Opeyemi Ilori, is an A&E doctor in Coventry, UK. Thank you for coming on this program. I know you've been to work today, but
Yes,
I'm
sir.
really expectant. So
Yes,
what do
sir.
you want to share with us? Let me just, because we have few minutes more.
Okay.
Now, in marriage,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
when a man or a woman has problem, the
Mm.
first thing that will be affected is you won't be able to sleep.
Yes.
We call it insomnia. I hope
Insomnia.
I pronounce it well.
Yes, yes, sir.
You will not be able to sleep. You have problems sleeping. You take medication, you take this.
Yeah.
Now, briefly, because there are two things, and I want you to relate it to how we can cope. Is it cope or deal with stress? I don't know how we can deal with stress. But how can you talk about that? This issue of insomnia. Is
Okay.
it insomnia? Yes.
Is insomnia.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. Thank you
Just
very
thank you,
much.
sir. Thank
Yes.
you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma. I want to bless the name of the Lord for Daddy and Mommy Taiwo for this privilege to be able to speak today. Just a little bit. It's like going to be like a summary of what our daddies and mommies, bishop, and our doctors and all of them. Everybody has spoken. This is like a summary. I mean, as a matter of fact, I was thinking, is there still anything to talk about? Well, but we still have a few things just to talk about, man. Now, you did mention, everyone has really mentioned, when there's a lot of stress going on in the family, when there's issue between the husband and the wife, you did mention, mommy, the husband is saying, I need my privacy. Wife says, I need privacy. I need some time to myself, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 2 weeks. She's still saying, I need some time. And then the husband too says, I want time. So this is like a symptom that something is wrong. Are you hearing me, ma?
Yes.
So this is like a symptom that something is wrong. And when we talk about insomnia is just talking about reduced sleep. It means that now, because of all the issues that are going on, an individual, whether the man or the woman or even the children, are now having issues. They are having reduced sleep. They have problem going to sleep, or when they go to sleep, the sleep is not adequate, it's not refreshing. That's another phase of sleep, because there are like 3 phases. And then when the person wakes up, when it is time to wake up, the person doesn't wake up on time. The person wakes up earlier, much earlier than the normal time. And then by the time the person wakes up, he feels or she feels like, did I even sleep at all? And so these things are all interrelated based on all what our daddies and mommies have said today, because there's a lot of stress. There's a worry going on. The husband and wife, something is stressing out the husband. Maybe he lost his job. Maybe he's not happy with the wife. The wife is not happy with the husband. The wife, I was having this with my wife recently, and we talked about a family. And then the woman was really, oh no, my husband is not doing what he should do. I'm really stressed. And she has spoken to a lot of people. I now said something to my wife. I said, I think she has spoken to a lot of people, but she has not spoken to God about it. Now, so reduced sleep can happen in adults as a result of some major reasons. And one of the number one things is what we are talking about. Anxiety, worry is a reason for people to have reduced sleep. And the reason why this is like that is because when you are supposed to go to bed, now you are beginning to overthink. You think too much, because ideally, for you to have an ideal sleep, there's something we call sleep hygiene. For you to have an ideal sleep, you are not supposed to, for instance, be thinking extremely about something that is worrying you at the time you are going to bed. If you do that, you're going to sleep late, and that's what we call finding it difficult to sleep. So to be able to fall asleep takes a lot of time. And even when the person sleeps, it's like the person did not even sleep at all, because by the time the person wakes up, it is again the worry that comes up to the mind of the person. And this is one area where I think we have to talk about the triggers. These are some of the triggers that cause reduced sleep. So anxiety, depression, worry. Now, in our own exam, one of the exams they gave us in Manchester, they said there was this lady who said, I've not been sleeping. And they said, asked questions, what is causing the inability to sleep or reduce sleep? The answer to the question was that the woman has been abused by the husband. And because every time in the night, the woman knows that there's a chance that the husband will come and beat her. So because of that, even when the husband does not have the intention of beating her, she will be having difficulty to fall asleep. So now the brain has a way of conditioning itself to what time are you supposed to sleep. So this is one advice I quickly give. There should be a fixed time normally when you should go to bed. Is it going to be 9? Is it going to be 10? Now, we live in a civilized world where a lot of things happen. People do shifts. That could be a question. You do morning, you do night, you do evening. And so the brain is even confused. Where am I even supposed to go to bed? But ideally, maybe it is 10. Okay, so the brain knows that once it's 10 p.m., I'm supposed to be in bed. This is the same thing we're supposed to also say to our children when they raise up. People have talked about our children, how we should talk to them. If you don't train them, somebody else will train them. And by the time they grow up and they are not well trained, they don't know the right way to live, then it becomes a behavioral problem. And we see a lot of them. Because like mommy said, I work in here. You see a lot of them, oh, I'm stressed out, I want to kill myself, I want to kill myself. And some of these, by the time you dig deep, you find out there's a trigger. There's a trigger, there's something going on in the home. So for parents, it is very important. I wrote something down here. I said, husbands, carry your wives along. Wives, carry your husbands along. Parents, carry your children along. And even children also have responsibility to their parents. When something is going wrong, like that causing anxiety, that is causing worry, we have to quickly fix it, because those are the triggers that will now precipitate the reduced sleep. And now I'm going to give us a quick research that was done. 1864, they carried out the research. Some group of people, they gathered and they said, let's not sleep and let's see what happens. So there was one of them. By third day, he was beginning to lose concentration. He was becoming moody. By fifth day, he was hallucinating, hearing voices, seeing things. By 11th day, he was able to manage to 11th. He did like 11 days, 25 minutes. By then, they rushed him to the hospital. By the time they took him to the hospital, he was allowed to sleep. He slept for 14 hours. So what that means is that when there's a stress, when there's anxiety, maybe there's a loss of job, maybe there's a financial problem, maybe there's an issue between the husband and the wife, or the children are giving issues, or maybe some people, even sickness sometimes, because there are some medical conditions that can also cause reduced sleep. For women, when it is perimenopausal, around the perimenopausal time, or when they reach menopause, there's a reduction in an hormone we call the estrogen. Because of that, there's a chance that they might have reduced sleep. And then some people, if they don't understand, they might not be able to adjust. So this is where we say, oh, no, you need to seek for counseling and ask for advice. Then people will now begin to talk. Then we talk about sleep hygiene. Have a fixed time to sleep. The first time you feel like sleeping is the time you should sleep. So people hold on to their phones when they're about to sleep, and they look at the screen. Now, light itself causes you to be awake. And that is why when we wake up in the morning, there's a hormone, we call it cortisol. We call it wakeful hormone. It's like a wakeful hormone. It makes you to be alert. So when you carry your phone and you go to bed, and you are stuck to the phone, you are stuck to the laptop, you carry the laptop, put it on the bed bed should be for sleep. Strictly for sleep. The bed should not be a place where I say, okay, let me reply, chat, and then for the next 1 hour, you are still on the phone. The brain should see the bed as a place to sleep. So anytime it is time to sleep, just go to the bed straight and sleep. Should not be a place for laptop, should not be a place for tab. And that's why our daddy and mommy are talking about children using tabs and laptop. It's very important. They don't have a fixed time to sleep. And so they sleep anytime they want. And eventually in life, then they are not able to have a pattern of sleep. And then this thing develops into behavioral issues, develops into loss of concentration, develops into mood changes. So people should learn that there should be a time to go to bed. There should be a time to wake up normally. And when you are going to bed, do away with your phones, ideally. Do away with noise. Darkness is very important when you want to sleep. There's not a time to put on light. And that's why when you are stuck with your phones, the radiation that comes from the phone, the wavelength of the phone, is like what happens when you see sunlight during the day. So the brain begins to think that it is day. So because the brain thinks it is day, it doesn't go to sleep, because there's a part of the brain that is responsible for sleep. So that part is switched on because there's light. So it should be dark. If you think you can go and have a hot bath, like 1 hour before you go to bed, and put away all those things, and the bed should be strictly for sleeping and nothing else. And we're talking about all those triggers. Can I continue, ma?
Yes, doctor. In fact, I've been thinking, how many minutes does doctor have? Anchor, how many minutes? So that you rank.
3 more minutes, sir.
Oh, 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. Sorry for, like I said, we are bringing each and every one of these panelists later, one-on-one. So don't worry. People are online. Don't worry. We have Blessed Family series coming up one-on-one on each topic where we deal with it. Thank you very much.
That's fine, ma. Okay, so I'll just round off. Just a few to say. Psalm 127 verse 2. Jesus, the Bible says that it is vain to stay up late and wake up early, right? To eat bread of sorrow, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. So even God is interested. So when we look at that verse, as we round off, we find out that God is even interested in us sleeping well. This verse is talking about somebody that is finding it difficult to go to bed. He stays up late. He's not able to sleep. So there's insomnia going on. Even when he sleeps, he doesn't sleep enough. So he wakes up and it's not fresh. He says, you wake up very early. So there's a sleep problem here. And I mean, the Spirit of God is one. One of our mommies mentioned Matthew chapter 8:28. Jesus was in the boat and Jesus was sleeping. The question I now ask myself, mommy, is that, was it only Jesus that was in the boat? No, Jesus was there with his disciples. Okay. So does that mean that it was only Jesus that was tired? No. When the storm came, Jesus was sleeping. So they were not sleeping. Agitation, anxiety, and all that. They were not sleeping. And they went to wake him up. Why are you sleeping? You don't care. So why are you disturbing me? Why are you disturbing my sleep? So casting all your cares onto God, for he cares for you. So whatever challenge that it is that we're going through, we have said that even though whatever it is, whether it is a disease, whether it is anxiety, whether it is anything that is causing us not to sleep, it is something that we can actually hand over to God. We have people like mommy that counseling, we can seek for counseling. We can go to our GPs and ask for advice. There are some medications just for short term, but there are advices that we can give. Let us identify the trigger, attend to it, pray to God about it, and then there will be a solution. Thank you very much.
Awesome. We are full. We are full.
Okay.
Thank you.